Hi, I'm Dr. Scott, and welcome to Total Health Kitchen. Today, we're going to be talking about fermented vegetables. So fermented vegetables are a great source of probiotics. These probiotics are very important to get into your diet for multiple reasons. Probiotics have been shown to have a huge impact on our health. Research is showing that these bacteria in the GI tract can have far-reaching effects on many different areas of our health. These probiotics can have an impact on our immune function. They can have an impact on our ability to improve inflammation and allergies, protect against cognitive decline. So these bacteria in the GI tract have been shown to produce certain neurotransmitters that have an impact on our brain and our nervous system. They have an impact on our mood and our ability to handle stress. So things like anxiety and depression and even just mental focus and memory have a huge impact by these bacteria. These bacteria can have a huge impact on our ability to manage our weight. So there was a study done with mice that found that mice that were thin tend to have a certain type of bacteria in their GI tract that the overweight mice didn't have. So they took these bacteria out of the thin mice, implanted them into the overweight mice, and guess what? They lost weight. So again, this is how important these bacteria can be. Other research has shown that these bacteria in the GI tract actually produce certain antioxidants, which are good for anti-aging, and even some research has shown that it has an impact on preventing cancer. So let's get started. So today, we are going to be making a fermented vegetable that's going to be based on cabbage. So we can use this as like a sauerkraut. Now, the first thing you need to do is we need to take your cabbage, your head of cabbage, and chop it up as fine as you can. So you want to get good fine chopping in the cabbage so that it's breaking up the fibers in the cabbage. And then, to break that up even further, we're going to load this into a bowl, like this. And then, we're going to get some sea salt. Now, the sea salt, this is a Himalayan sea salt. And this is one of my favorite sea salts. Most of our conventional salts have been processed where they've stripped all of the minerals out of the salt, which makes it really white. So you may notice that this pink salt is a little bit pink because it's got certain minerals like iron in it. But the Himalayan pink salt has been shown to have over 98 different trace minerals. It's really good for your health. It has a good taste as well. Now with this particular batch today, we're actually going to add some carrots. Now again, I like to use organic whenever possible. Your organic products are going to have less pesticides. Most of organic farmers are going to have methods that help keep the land healthy so that the soil is healthy, and that allows more nutrients to get into your food. So there's many reasons we could talk about how important organic is, but we're going to throw a little bit of these chopped up carrots in there as well. And then we need just enough salt to help break up the fibers is one of the reasons we're adding the salt. So I'm going to do just a little teaspoon here, just kind of sprinkle around in there, maybe a little more. Again, just as long as you feel like you're going to get enough grit to break up the fibers. And then we're going to just grind this up with our hands. And you really want to spend some time doing this. So I've kind of did this a little bit before we started taping. So I'm just going to kind of show you the process of breaking up these fibers, because breaking up the fibers is going to have a huge impact on releasing the juices inside the cabbage, and that's going to really help produce these probiotics. All right. So as you keep grinding, you're going to see that it's starting to break down a little bit, and it's starting to get a little mushier. So the more you break it down, the mushier it gets, and that's when you're ready for the next step. All right, so the next step is we're going to take a mason jar. Now, what's important about the mason jar is, I think this is a quart. So we want a very large one, and then you want the wide mouth. So I've made the mistake of getting the small mouth ones before. Not as easy. So we want a good wide mouth mason jar, and then we're going to shove our cabbage and our carrot mixture into this jar. Now, the reason it's important to have a wide mouth, now some people will have a like a little mallet or something to kind of help push that down. That can be helpful. But you really want to get it down in there pretty tight, because part of the process of the fermentation is we want to get the air out of the container. So we just kind of push that down as good as we can. Push it around the sides. Okay. So actually that was basically a head of cabbage almost. So it really makes, there's not that much left, as you can see. So, and that's one jar. Now, the next step we're going to do, now, most people can just add water to this mixture and it's fine, right? You're still going to ferment the bacteria already in the cabbage. But since I've done this a few times before, I have a little bit of the juice from my last batch. So I'm going to pour that into this batch, and that'll actually speed up the fermentation process. So normally, if you're using just water, again, you want to get a good, clean water, filtered water. And top that off. And then we're going to press this down a little bit more. So again, as I'm pressing this down, we're getting some more air bubbles coming out. And I might even add a little more cabbage in here. Okay. Now, another nice little trick is that, again, part of this fermentation process is we're trying to keep the air out of the jar. So, one of the little tricks I've learned is to take one of the leaves of the cabbage, and this might actually just work as it is. Trim it up a little bit. And then you can press that down into your jar and get some water on top of it. So it looks like that. Now when you put your lid on, don't tighten it up too much. So what's nice about these mason jars is they've got this lid system so that this kind of sits on top, and then this goes on top, so you don't have to tighten it too much, and that'll allow a little bit of that gas to, as it sits on your counter, the gas is going to form inside the jar and it'll release. So you're going to sit this on your counter. So with the starter in there, it should take anywhere from a week, 7 days to 14 days is all you need. If you don't have a starter in there, I'd give it a good 4 weeks. And then once you're done, tighten the lid up, and then you can put that in the fridge, and it should last 6 months or longer. So that is how you make fermented vegetables. So thanks for watching. I hope this information today helps improve your quality of life.